ask the coach for quick reflection of the match, and then I guess we'll ask questions. Coach, just reflection of the game over the two legs.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity once more. I would say this was a total different game, especially the second half. The second game. I thought that, in the second game we are going to play better and dominate the play, and we didn't do that, especially playing at home, and maybe playing at home, because in the first leg we played much better than what we did today. There was a lot of sense of agency, of which when I look at the players today, they were flat, and I even thought that maybe because they were playing at home and with the pressure, about Bafana Bafana, and also more especially when we saw Banyana Banyana, coming back, being victorious, in the WAFCON, in a women's WAFCON. Maybe I thought that might have put pressure, on the players, because they look totally different, So I feel that maybe that was one of the reasons.
Coach, you obviously have a lot of challenges working with players that you're not too familiar with. And they're all playing together for the first time, so might be a challenge as a coach to get him to gel and to play how you want him to play.
Yeah, I think that also contributed, because coming to Chan to play the game for the Chan, the first game in Comoros, we had to change 9 players. 9 players. We have to change 9 players. So going to Comoros, we had to change 9 players. And coming to the second game again, we had to change 5 players. So that also posed a challenge. But looking at the standard where these players are playing at, you will also expect that, given the opportunity, then they will grab it with both hands. I'm not saying that they didn't try hard. They worked so hard, trying to play, but today they couldn't. That's why I think that maybe they were hit by the stage fright, playing at home, and I also thought that having Banyana Banyana, achieving, in the women's football, I thought that it would bring, inspiration. But today's game, it was totally different, and also I felt that, we made 2 changes, in our starting lineup, especially in key position, the central midfielder, where we brought in George Matlo and Sami Siabi, So I felt that maybe that also, had a negative impact in relation to the players, that we played with, and some of them we played with them in Kosafa, and we played in the first game. So by bringing them, I felt that it could. I felt that it could brought some, instability in terms of gelling, amongst these players. But, I can't fault the effort. They gave the effort, they gave it all, trying to help the team, but it wasn't, the case, and more especially, when you see Comoros, and actually we told them that, they would be coming at us, because they know that, they are trailing by 1 goal, and they will try to get an equalizer. So for us, I think we couldn't capitalize on that by dominating, especially playing at home.
Coach, moving forward, obviously it poses a challenge in terms of the further you get in this competition, you could be forced to keep changing the team, because the local PSL is coming back. Players will have commitments with their clubs, and obviously the clubs are not obligated in this instance to release players. How are you going to navigate that?
What actually yesterday I had a short conversation with Dr. Jordan about going and sit down and approaching my PSL, in order to make sure that we get also, access to a more bigger pool of players, because going to the next game, we are going to play against Angola. We are going to play against Angola, and I'm definitely sure that they are not going to use the squad that they used in COSAFA, and also the squad that they used in the first round of Chen. So they are going to bring more of their quality players, the players that played against, Mamelodi Sundowns. So they are bringing them. So for us, we also, for us as the nation, we need also to make sure that, especially as Bafana Bafana, we get a bigger access to this to the players that we have, in order to give ourselves more chance of progressing to the next round, of which that is to play in Algeria, because we are left with 2 games now to play in Algeria. So it is important for us to be in Algeria.
I was wondering, how much influence did Coach Hugo Broos have on the squad and the tactics for this Chan selection?
No, in terms of the squad selection, we worked with the under 23 coach in terms of selecting the squad for COSAFA. Then when the COSAFA was concluded, we felt that it was better to continue with that team than to start than to assemble a new team. So to assemble a new team, because of the short period in relation of bringing players on, or to prepare for this game. So we felt that we continue with that set of players. But unfortunately, a week before we went to Comoros, then a lot of players, and I felt that key players, and they were withdrawn from the squad. So now we had to juggle around and bring in new players, of which it affected. So in terms of the influence of the coach on the tactics, he didn't influence so much. He didn't have any influence, because he gave me the mandate, saying that, coach, just go there, just apply what you see and what you understand, or with what you have. So that's what I did. Yes, I've been in constant communication with the coach, just to give him the update of what was going on in the team.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, coach.